So what's going on, guys? My name's Mr. Dalek JD. Thank you for joining me for another video where we are talking World War II zombies, and possibly one of the most important videos so far about World War II zombies before its reveal, which is coming in 2 days' time, which is extremely exciting. If you missed yesterday's antics, I got sent a package which contained a load of awesome storyline stuff and a teaser trailer. We're going to be watching that a lot throughout this because I've had a revelation while going over the journal stuff and realised some insane story stuff. And this came to me when the announcement was made today of another character inside of World War II Zombies, and this is going to be the world-class actor Udo Kier, who's going to be starring as Dr. Peter Glutzbringer Straub. Now, we've heard this name, Straub or Straub, however you want to pronounce it, quite a few times in all of the bits of story intel, and my teaser trailer yesterday was literally titled Straub, which is really exciting and basically hints towards part of the character's personality and traits within this story and map within the teaser trailer that I got. You're seeing it on screen now, and we have this sick, sadistic, twisted underground laboratory where we see parts of the human anatomy on the floor, in pictures visually on the walls, and even a human body taped to the wall itself. It is really gruesome and disgusting, and with this little storyline revelation, we can now realize that this character is the villain of World War II Zombies. A bit like how we had the Shadow Man inside of Black Ops 3 Zombies, at least from what it seems from the intel so far, that Dr. Peter Glutzbringer Straub is not going to be a playable character, but more so the villain and enemy that we're going to be trying to stop within this map. Now, Udo Kier is a German actor who's appeared in over 200 films. He's 72, but he looks like an absolute badass, and he has a really thick German accent, so this is going to work very well with the whole theme of things, and he just sounds really menacing. Just take a look at him in one of the films he's appeared in. He just fits the bill so perfectly well. Now, with the announcement of Dr. Straub, and yesterday we also had the announcement of Catherine Winnick, who's going to be playing Maurice Fischer, that's how we know from all of these storyline updates and journals from Marie's journal that she's going to be a main character within this map. She's pretty important because everything's focused around her and the relationship and communication she's had with her brother Klaus Fischer. Now, we also got some information from Variety magazine who confirmed that she's going to be playing inside of this year's Call of Duty, and she's going to be playing a brilliant engineer and tactician named Marie, who attempts to help salvage stolen treasures and rescue her brother Klaus. Now, as soon as I heard rescue her brother and we pieced together the teaser we got, there's a good chance that this person that's on the wall here could potentially be her brother Klaus. It mentions that she is gone to this area to help salvage stolen treasures, which we know is related to Frederick Barbarossa's sword, as well as the portrait of a young man, Raphael, which we got back in April. So it makes sense that she's here to try and rescue her brother, and finds out that he may not have made it. Now, what could be the outcome, and this is literally just me piecing together the bits of intel we've had so far, this is pure speculation. I feel like what's going on is Klaus Fischer has been sending Marie these letters, and every single sort of intel package that me, Noah, Milo got, and whoever else gets it tomorrow, it seems like we're getting intel directly from Klaus Fischer, and then we're getting Marie's point of view from receiving these letters. But perhaps she's been receiving these letters quite a few weeks ago, and these journal updates are her receiving these letters and then trying to reciprocate by trying to go and save her brother, who seems to be in this laboratory in Mittelberg. Now, I won't read you all of her journal because it is a little bit long, but it's piecing together a really nice backstory for Marie Fischer as the hero in this story. She's mentioned that she's been receiving a lot of messages from her brother, and they seem to get more desperate, and she thinks that he's beginning to border on madness. Now, Klaus recommended to his sister that she gets in touch with the Monuments, Fine Arts and Archives program, which is someone that focuses on recovering and safeguarding historic and cultural monuments, items that the Nazis have stolen from the most valuable collections in Europe. That again goes hand in hand with the portrait of a young man, which we got back in April, as well as Barbarossa and this focus on him potentially with this sword. She even ends her first journal entry by mentioning that after years of training, she might have to come back into service for one singular cause to rescue rescue her brother. Then in the second journal, we get more info about the actual map location itself and what's going on. She's mentioned that the Mittelberg mines uncovered a chamber below the salt mines buried in the roots of the Kaufhauser Mountains, which is going to be the place where our zombie map is going to take place. She mentions Klaus believes the chamber to have been the chamber dedicated to Emperor Frederick I, and it's been untouched for 800 years. There's something in the chamber, some sort of relic from the era, which their leader believes to be sacred and powerful, a tool that is important to what will lead to the Fourth Reich. Now, she doesn't seem to quite believe what's going on, but the next journal really makes sense. After quite a lot of back and forth with the Major Hank Riddau of the newly formed Monuments, Fine Arts and Archives program, he finally approved a mission for Marie to take part in, which is to go into Bavaria. Now, according to a source from their agent in the Resistance, the Nazis have begun shipping stolen art into the very same mines that Klaus has been discussing in his notes. This was enough to convince the Monuments, Fine Arts and Archives program to take the risk, their first mission behind enemy lines. But the best news came at the end of the letter. A simple request for an operations leader with the experience running espionage, extensive knowledge and fluent in the local dialect. The mayor had already forwarded a requested name to OSS, the name singular. She hopes it's Marie, and it more than likely will end up being Marie. So she's being sent on a mission to save her brother. Now, the relationship between Maurice Fischer and her brother Klaus Fischer is a little bit broken, but that's not going to stop her from wanting to go and save him. Listen to some of these letters. This is the second letter that was sent. He says, "Marie, please forgive how scattered this letter is. I'm scared that I'll be found out as treasonous to the mission, and therefore I'm writing to you in the cover of night. Things have gotten worse than expected. The salt mines have been converted into a laboratory. The sword piece, this hilt, has not yet budged from its resting place." Like, if that doesn't scream the teaser that I got yesterday about the salt mines being turned into that laboratory that we see, I don't know what is. The fact that he has to write this in the cover of night to not be found as treasonous as well just says that he's being held against his will here. At first he thought this was a very prestigious thing to be a part of, but as things have gone on, it's clearly changed, and he realised that this group are not after the same thing that he originally first thought. Now, here's where we finally learn some actual info about Dr. Straub and his personality. Klaus Fischer says, "I persecuted myself to Dr. Straub with all of the ambition I could muster. I know that he would see how destiny had placed me at the right place, the right time. I persecuted him with my papers, some of the research I'd done with Linden. He looked down his nose at me, said my work was amateur, poorly documented, but in the end, he said my familiarity with the area would be useful. As like a desperate fool, I was grateful for this. I thanked him." Now, here's where another revelation comes to play as I was researching all of this. It makes so much sense. Sledgehammer are really clever. He knew of our father Marie. He has heard of how father's weapon design had helped the Kaiserliche Marine, but he laughed. That the brilliant Heinz Fischer had endorsed making toys. I did not cave to tell him that father had chosen to make toys as Penitcher to bring joy where before his intentions had brought only death. Now, there is the big twist. Their father used to make toys, but never for once to bring joy, where before his inventions had brought only death. Now, it's quite clear that the influence of their father and his toy making has gone over to Marie and Klaus. And when I mention this, if you look at the front cover of Maurice Fischer's journal that we keep reading through, the very first, like literally the front cover of it, just has a little emblem of a clown in the bottom. Now, this struck a light bulb in my head because me and Noah, and possibly whoever else gets a package tomorrow, we've all gotten these specific jack-in-the-boxes. They have a very clear design on them, like a clown, and when you look at the notepad, it looks identical to the clown box that we had. So potentially, what could have happened is these jack-in-the-boxes that we have could have been made by Klaus and Maurice Fischer's dad. And it's quite clear that the intention of these boxes is not just to be a simple toy, just like in the notes. It says that they used to bring only death. So their father used to make weapons disguised as toys, which is incredibly messed up. Like, I was thinking about it and I was like, IW had the zombie sort of film box, which relates a lot to the zombie crates that you can buy in game, But as for the Jack-in-the-Boxes, they could possibly have a similar thing, or at least be tied in with the map somehow. Like, we're going to see these Jack-in-the-Boxes, but how exactly, I don't know. But there we have the correlation there as to why we got a specific Jack-in-the-Box with that detailed clown on the front. The last of Klaus Fischer's notes is, I should have listened to father, I should have listened. And then the next set of notes that we have is a load of stuff from what seems to be some sort of German research book on human anatomy or something like that, with disgusting images. We have blood smeared all over them, and there's one final bit before. I do not know when I'll be able to contact you again. I hope that you have found it in your heart to forgive me. If not, I hope you'll pass along my story as a cautionary tale. I hope that you will fight whatever horrors are hidden beneath the mountain. VGK. Now with that, it kind of makes me feel like perhaps Klaus hasn't written that one, but it sounds like it, because right from the very first letter, he mentions about how he's very sorry for the arguments that they had years ago and hope that she has some compassion in her heart to forgive him for what's happened. But now with the intel that I got yesterday, it pretty much confirms what has happened here with Klaus Fischer. Now this is also available on the classified website, but I got the physical sort of ticket as well, and it says Faust in tragedy, which means like the devil in tragedy. M, which is obviously Marie. They have done horrible things here, monstrous things. Straub is more twisted than you can imagine, so driven to bring about the final Reich that nothing else matters to him. He will stop at nothing, Marie. Our home is no longer our home. It is a horrible shell of what you once knew. Promise me that you will never return here. I want to stay and fight, but I'm scared. Straub is beginning to grow suspicious of me. It is almost as if the Nazis can smell my doubt. I need to escape Mittelberg. I pray that it's safer in Cambridge, but I fear that soon we will all be witness to whatever horrors they are keeping hidden underneath the mountain. I do not know when I'll be able to contact you again. If you do not hear anything, I hope you'll pass along my story as a cautionary tale. I have this image of arriving at the King's Cross railway station, suitcase in hand, with you there to greet me. The sun is shining, the war is over, and the Allied forces have won. We are finally free. VGK. So with that, we learn that the fate of Klaus Fischer is not directly in that teaser, at least at that point. From the perspective of this note written right now, he realizes what's going on, how incredibly messed up it is, and he really wants to get out of this situation. But he warns her to not come here because this is not the home that they were used to. But as we now know from the Variety bio, Maurice Fischer has returned to Mittelberg to try and save her brother, as well as the stolen items that the Germans have been using, as they might have some sort of mysterious power. But that's the correlations that I could think of so far. We're building a fantastic tale here where we have a pretty disgusting villain by the seams of things. He has a lot of messed up experiments, which is what we like inside of zombies, and he is a great German actor, so we can expect a lot of great dialogue and it to be sounding as authentic as it could have been back then in World War II, as the Germans really were trying to do stuff like this. So this is a really exciting story, and I hope that this video has sort of opened your eyes a little bit more to the story that Sledgehammer Games are telling, as up until this point I have of course stayed on track with it, I've kept tabs on it, but I've never really looked too far into it. But with all of this correlation now, it's really damn exciting. They're really doing a lot of great stuff here, and I can only hope that tomorrow whoever else gets their secret package will hopefully have another teaser trailer which will give us even more insight into how messed up Dr. Straub really is. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. We'll be getting new intel tomorrow from someone else that's been sent one of these packages. I'm sure when that time comes, it'll be a lot more obvious, and we'll also probably get another character reveal from Call of Duty, and then it'll be one day until the reveal. And on the 20th, you're going to find all of the coverage you could ever want. We're going to have the full trailer breakdown. We're going to have tons and tons of videos directly talking about every single character, their backstory, every little detail that you could ever want to know. We'll have it here on the channel on Thursday and on the coming days after that. But thank you so much for watching. You've been amazing. I'll catch you next time.